What's going on, everybody? Marvel the Cross 316 back with another comic book flashback. Today, folks, we are looking at Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 54, and today's title is Hollywood Part 1. And so, folks, we're going to be looking exactly what that's about. So, there's going to be a new Spider-Man movie coming out, and this is actually taking place when Spider-Man 2 was coming out. So, this is taking place in 2004, but they're acting like this is the first ever Spider-Man movie that Tobey Maguire is being put in. So it's very interesting how they're including this into the comic book, and so it's pretty cool here. And so previously in Ultimate Spider-Man, the bite of a deadly altered spider granted high school student Peter Parker incredible arachnid-like powers, strength, agility, a spider-like sixth sense, warning him of personal danger, and most amazing of all, Peter can walk on walls. We know all this stuff right here. But basically, if you don't know anything about Spider-Man, here it is right here. And we got Peter Parker, Mary Jane, Aunt May, Flash Thompson, Gwen Stacy, and Kong here. And so let's go ahead now and get into this story. This story is brought to you by Bendis, Bagley, and Thibbert. They're like the main guys that you need to know. And so now let's go ahead and get into today's story. Like I said, we show right here from the get-go in the opening scenes, Aunt May is getting ready to go on a trip here. She's actually going to Florida to visit her mom. And if you think about it, Aunt May, her mom's still alive. Well, Aunt May is actually like late 50s, early 60s in this universe. Now, in the regular universe, Aunt May's mom is dead. I mean, Aunt May is like 80 years old in the regular universe, but in the Ultimate universe, she's like in her late 50s, maybe early 60s. So she's going to Florida, and she's telling Gwen and Peter to not have any hanky-panky. That means sex. Do not have sex while I'm gone. And so we see that Peter Parker and Gwen are smiling at each other, like just joking around here. And she says, notice how she's not saying no parties. And Peter says, because she knows we have no friends. So Aunt May is going to give Peter Parker and Gwen $300. And she basically says, I love both of you. And just there's tons of food in the fridge. I'll be gone for a week. I'll be back. So she gets in her taxi and leaves. And as the taxi leaves, we see that Gwen's like, okay, fork it over. $150 right now. Give me my half. He said, what? And he said, where are you going? He said, see you in a week. So I guess Gwen is going to be going somewhere with her money. And she's not even going to be staying with Peter Parker. So Peter Parker basically is going to have the entire house to himself here. And so that's pretty cool. But the only bad thing is that his girlfriend, Mary Jane, is grounded. I mean, grounded for a long time after running away from home. And so he has no social life. And pretty much Mary Jane Watson is the only social life that Peter Parker has. So then all of a sudden he's going to hear about this new movie that's coming out. And it's a movie about Spider-Man. And we see that Sam Raimi is the head of the project, which is pretty cool because he is actually a director of the original 3 Spider-Man movies. And we see here that Tobey Maguire is going to be the one acting as Spider-Man here. And we see that this director says Spider-Man is an enigma. He's a mysterious hero, or some say anti-hero. Half the world, they love him. The other half hates him. But everyone is talking about him. This is, we believe, a story for our generation. What we will do in this movie is recreate the excitement, the spectacle that Spider-Man is for New York City, but we will do it for everyone all over the world. And he basically says, see, we don't know exactly how Spider-Man is without his mask, but we're going to portray him as this loser, loner kind of guy. And then when he puts on the costume, he's going to be this great innovator, this great action hero. And so Peter Parker, without even thinking, rips the door off of its hinges, gets Gwen Stacy's attention here. He said, geez, what are you doing? He said, oh, the thing just fell off. So he's about to blow his cover here, showing his super strength, his spider strength here. And she said, well, that's coming out of your half. Hey, you think they're going to include the part in the movie where Spider-Man killed my dad. So Gwen is not getting over that fact that there was that imposter Spider-Man that's responsible for the death of her father. So now we cut to Rikers Island, and this is where we're going to see Dr. Octavius. He, remember, got defeated by Spider-Man way back in issue number 18. And we see here that this one cellmate is making fun of him because there's this Spider-Man movie coming out, and it looks like Dr. Octopus is going to be the villain for the movie, which is, once again, very ironic because they used Dr. Octavius in the actual movie for Spider-Man 2 as a character. And so we see here that as this guy continues to just belittle Otto Octavius, we see that Otto Octavius continues to stay silent. So what is up with Otto Octavius? Back at Midtown High School, we see Kong is wanting to bring and invite Flash Thompson or Liz Allen to be an extra in the new Spider-Man movie. He invites Mary Jane, but Mary Jane's like, I can't go anywhere. I am grounded for life. Peter Parker says he has to work, and then she laughs at the fact that they're making this new Spider-Man movie, and she looks to Peter Parker, and yeah, Mary Jane, better be quiet because you do not need to reveal to everyone that your knowledge of Spider-Man here. And so we see that back at Rikers Island, Dr. Octavius begins to smile here. And there's a big thunk. What the heck is that noise? We're going to soon find out as we go to the headquarters and home of the Ultimates, the U.S.-sanctioned superhuman task force created by Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D., and there they're hearing the same noise, that big thunk noise. What is that? So we see that they're soon going to find out that Dr. Octavius' metal arms are going to break loose, killing both of these bystanders here. And it looks like Dr. Octavius is controlling these metal arms with his mind. And then with his mind, he's having the metal arms come to him. And so we see here that Sam Raimi is going to be filming the new Spider-Man movie. Tobey Maguire is having problems with his mask here. All of a sudden, the real Spider-Man shows up. He says, I can't believe you guys are doing this to me. How could you make a movie about me without my permission? He said, we don't need it. He said, you don't need it? He said, you're a public figure. You're in the public domain. And we did get the rights from Rosalita Octavius, the wife of Otto Octavius, and Cher Osborn, the half-sister of Norman Osborn. And so they ask him some personal questions and say, well, look, we can pay you if you will just take off your mask. And he said, no deal. He said, you people suck. And he swings off. And so he's like, cut. That'll save me a couple $1 million right there of having to use CGI because they basically were filming the real Spider-Man as he swung off. So we see here Otto Octavius is being very patient, and he's hearing his mechanical arms come to him at every turn here. And we see that there's so much destruction going on. And he says, and you I give my thanks. He puts on his metal arms, and so now he is out and about, and we have to worry about the return of Dr. Octopus. Oh my goodness. He is probably the hardest villain Spider-Man has gone up against. And so next issue, folks, we're going to see Spider-Man going up against Dr. Octopus in issue number 55. We have a lot to look forward to, y'all. And so before we look at issue number 55, go ahead and give this video a like. Comment down below what you liked about this issue. Subscribe if you have not. And I will see y'all in the next one.